there can be only one. Throughout the numerous battles in problematic Posse wrestling, that truth has reigned supreme for every fight and every war, as each side, individual or faction, puts it all on the line for a point in the win column. And this could be no more exemplified than in the Posse Rumble, a 30-man battle royale where the winner, the lone survivor, gets their dream of a title match with a world champion of their choice. I am the Shady Champ, the lone reporter, bringing to you the news of who survived their battles after a word from our sponsors, whom you should like, subscribe to, and follow on Twitch so that you never have to miss a PPW show again.
I'm doing this shit, mama. I'm doing this shit, bitch. I just caught the new fire. A little over $250,000. He called me like 260. I eat with the 5 stars. That perk got a nigga high. Right now I'm a fly star. You can get popped with the 12 game.
In the lead up to Lone Survivor 3, Warzone and Blitz had a King of the Ring tournament where each winner would get a championship match before their season ended, and the finals of the Warzone tournament ended with Steel Sean versus Warlock Noah, with Sean grabbing the win. Noah, a sore loser, would not take this lying down and would spend the next few weeks hounding Sean, even going so far as to attack Sean before a match the week before Lone Survivor 3. Sean, sick of the harassment, called Noah out, swearing to end this feud once and for all at the pay-per-view in a Hell in a Cell match. And boy, did Steel Sean put Noah through hell, giving Noah a masterclass of what the high flyer of Cerberus can do when his focus is 100% on you, not even giving Warlock Noah time to work his usual magic. And as Steel Sean RKO'd Noah to seal the deal, one could only wonder if the Steel King would have an equally stainless performance when it be time for his title match. Warzone and Blitz had gone through numerous trades in the time between Posse slams. With Warlock Noah becoming a Warzone mainstay now, this allowed Blitz to acquire Cowboy Kent, who after having rough luck in Warzone was eager to search for greener, well, bluer pastures. But he's not the only one searching for a fresh start, as Small Schmeat Smitty appeared as his opponent, having upgraded his metal arm to an entirely robotic body. And thus, the rivalry between humans and machines took on a new chapter, as Smith's upgraded moveset and robotic form made what was once a dangerous wrestler downright lethal. But Smith learned very fast that you can't outkick Kent, as the former 2-time world champion showed that he could still keep up with the PPW roster no matter who was in his way. After recruiting Chris in the last Posse Slam, the Shady Truth would not stop there, immediately setting their eyes on Tay Nubis, who was also downtrodden after losing his Intercontinental title to the Mike is Right. Tay was resistant at first, but as the Shady Truth continued to help him through his matches, Tay finally accepted the Shady Truth into himself, and the Shady One requested one more match to seal the deal at Posse Slam before Tay could be solidified as Shady's Avatar of Truth. The fight started out evenly matched between the Brothers of Truth, but Tay, a formidable opponent before accepting the Shady Truth, became even more unstoppable after finding it, similar to the Shady Soldier Chris's experience. However, unlike in Chris's match, before Shady and Tay could leave the ring, comrades in truth, Jordan the Warden of Cerberus attacked them. Now, Jordan was one of Tay's opponents who caught the wrong side of the Shady One's interventions, so it's not clear just yet if he was acting alone or if he was fighting on behalf of Cerberus, the only other faction of PPW with 4 members so far. Only time will tell which way this particular coin will flip, but Shady News will keep you updated. While it's still up for debate who could be the Rookie of the Year in Season 3, Tag Team of the Year might come down to the Freak Bulls. Both Crusher and Uncle Scuba thrusted onto the scene in Season 3, and the tag division was never the same. And while they couldn't snag the title belts, they still believe they made for a great duo, openly denouncing the Tag Team of the Righteous consisting of T-Hole and Jay Trent, the latter of which was the focus of their dirty talk after repeatedly having issues performing with the spotlights on. T-Hole, sticking up for his brother, challenged the Freaks to a tag match, with the audience expecting that Jay Trent would virtually leave T-Hole to fight 2 men at once. Imagine the crowd's surprise when it was Jay Trent with the performance of the night, dominating the match with T-Hole barely needing to switch in and the Freak Bulls getting more than they bargained for. As the match went down to the wire, literally this time, T-Hole, with the work that Trent had been able to accomplish, put Scuba to sleep, allowing for the Righteous to come out on top over the Freak Bulls. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. Now, standout performances don't stop there, as now we get to the championship portion of this recap with the Blitz Women and Them's match, featuring a triple threat elimination match between champion Ronda Rousey, former champion Princess Rave, and Jess Ayaba, the Blitz Queen of the Ring, and the only one on the Blitz roster to have beaten Ronda twice during elimination matches, making her the favorite to win. Unfortunately, Rave didn't care about favorites, as they would proceed to go on a string of their best and strongest moves, targeting mainly Jess Ayaba, but not shying away from Ronda either. This put Ronda and Jess at an extreme disadvantage, having to sneak in offense against Rave whenever there was an opening. And while Jess wasn't able to get much offense in due to withstanding Rave's attacks, Ronda had a plan. As Rave would leave themselves open, Ronda would target the arm whenever she could get offense in. This meant that once Rave finished Jess Ayaba off, Ronda would be able to capitalize off a tired Rave with an armbar submission. And no sooner than Rave pinned Jess Ayaba did Ronda immediately take the victory by following her plan to the letter. You may not like the WWE plan, but you've got to admit that she's a champion for a reason. And while the plant in Blitz was able to secure their championship, that doesn't guarantee that the plant in Warzone could be so lucky, as Stacy Keibler, champion after a ladder match, faced Reign of the Steel family, Warzone's Queen of the Ring, looking to end the dominance of WWE plants with a reign of her own. And while that's every challenger's goal, Reign proved that her words were more than just talk, as she dismantled Stacy Keibler in the beginning of the fight, having an answer for every problem Stacy tried to throw at her. By the time Stacy could get any offense in, the match was all but decided in Reign's favor, and with one last raindrop to seal the deal, Reign ended the tenure of WWE plants holding the Warzone Women and Them's belts. The tag scene had their own King of the Ring tournaments in the form of Warzone and Blitz's Gemini Cup, with Adrenaline Rush, consisting of rookies Young Clayton and Hollywood Dom, coming out on top on the Blitz's side, giving them a chance to go up against the tag team champions, the Super Pack, aka Warlock Noah and T-Money Tez. Now, Dom and Clayton were both Season 3 rookies excited about breaking onto the scene and injecting fresh blood into the tag belts, but Warlock Noah and Cortez reminded the industry plants the difference between rookies and vets, as Dom and Clay found themselves outmatched by two wrestlers not so green as to make mistakes, retaining the championships. The Mike is Right has been on an incredible run as Warzone Intercontinental Champion, going so far as to have the longest run with a secondary belt that PPW has ever seen. But when K-Rich became the #1 contender for Mike, the PPW universe began thinking that K-Rich could possibly be the one to unplug the mic. And when Mike made the stipulation for the belt to be a win by submission, everyone began siding with K-Rich, as he had the infamous submission known as the Dog Collar, a devastating finisher that defeated many an opponent. And K-Rich indeed sought to make an example out of Mike, going for the Dog Collar to get a straightforward win as soon as possible. But the Mike is Right let experience as a champion do the talking, aiming to wear K-Rich's body down with powerful move after powerful move, so that all Mike would have to do to end the match is use a simple submission hold that K-Rich would be too weak to break out of. And once again, the Mike was right and retained the championship after taming the underdog of Cerberus. I know what you're thinking. Didn't Griccolo win the Blitz United States belt last Posse Slam? And you'd be correct. But on an episode of Blitz, Jacob J arrived revealing he had been traded to Blitz from Warzone and defeated Griccolo in a title match. Then, in a moment of hubris, he challenged Blitz World Champion Pretty Boy JG to a match where the winner takes the loser's title. And that's how Pretty Boy JG became Double Champ JG and found his way onto a triple threat elimination match against Jesse Bananas, looking to reassert dominance in the Blitz hierarchy, and the unforgettable rookie Leroy Jenkins, a fan favorite wrestler, though not the most dominant. This would all change though, as Leroy #JankMakeItStankJenkins sniffed out just how big an opportunity this was for him, pinning JG and peeling Jesse Bananas' skull with the Walk It Out and A-Town Stomp. In the end, Jenkins made it smell like victory for all his fans as he claimed the belt for himself, becoming the Blitz United States Champion. JG may have lost one belt, but he didn't intend on losing two this Posse Slam. Unfortunately for him, this particular challenge would serve to be a bit harder than the last one. Dubbed the Wolfpack Challenge, JG would have to face 4 other fierce competitors in a 25-minute Iron Man match. His opponents, the Groovy One and Grickolo of the Groovy Church, Crazy Cord of the Kingsmen, and the hardest working man in any business, that guy TB. Due to the nature of it being an Iron Man match, no wrestler wanted to see the competition get the pin on another opponent and raise their score, so for 21 straight minutes we saw peak physicality from 5 of Blitz's finest wrestlers. But at the 4-minute mark, things started to change as Cord pinned Grickolo, sending the other wrestlers into a frenzy to get points of their own, as the Groovy One would pin his own disciple, and TB would make Grickolo tap into a submission as well. It was a tough day to beat Grickolo, and an even tougher day to beat Pretty Boy JG, for when the timer reached 0, he and Grickolo became out of the running as they had not secured any pins. As for Cord, the Groovy One, and TB, they had all secured 1 pin, making for a 3-way tie in need of a tiebreaker at a later date. When Tempest won the Warzone World Championship, it was believed we would see a run like no other in the DPH era. And we were technically right, as no other world champion struggled to win exhibition matches on their show after getting the belt, with Tempest only being able to win against a debuting rookie. But Tempest maintained that keeping the championship status was what mattered, not winning exhibitions. Unfortunately for him, Delanye West, the biggest dog of Cerberus, was on his way to reclaim the belt via a 2 out of 3 falls match, going so far as to get in Tempest's head by dressing in Tempest's old outfit to remind him of what Tempest may go back to if he loses. Tempest wasn't shy of playing mind games either, choking Delanye repeatedly during the match in reference to Delanye's signature moves. But in the end, Tempest's run could be summarized as just that, an imitation, and it stood no chance against the real deal as Delanye completed a flying leg drop for the first pin and soon after choked Tempest out for the second pin, defeating him 2-0. And now for the third and final portion of the Posse Slam, the Posse Rumble. And as one can expect, there was a lot of chaos that went down in a 30-man battle royale, but Shady News was able to chop things down into the most important Shady facts. So before the match even began, 5 factions were represented in the Super PAC, the Groovy Church, the Shady Truth, Kingsmen, and Cerberus. Odds were that somebody would be able to snag a win to boost the prestige of their faction, but the question remains, who? It certainly wasn't the tag team Adrenaline Rush, as Dom and Young Clayton turned out to be the entrants 1 and 2 respectively. Delanye West intended to be the winner of the Posse Rumble to challenge for the Blitz title, but unfortunately came out at number 3 and was the first to be eliminated. The Kingsmen didn't have greater odds either, as Cord, Jesse, and Shad were entrants 9, 10, and 11, and as a result became the first whole faction to be eliminated, with Jesse having the honor of fastest elimination, getting rung out at 28 seconds. You know who staved off elimination though? Young Clayton, who, from number 2, managed to last until the 19th entrant arrived. The Shady Truth may have had some validity to it, as the Shady One, Chris, and Tay managed to eliminate the most people as a faction with a total of 7 eliminations. Shady Soldier Chris himself eliminated 4 people, the most eliminations of anyone in this Rumble. But at the final hour, the last 3 wrestlers standing would be T-Hole and Jay Trent of the Righteous and the Groovy One, the previous winner of the second Posse Rumble. And as he expertly eliminated Jay Trent, it seemed that Grant would win 2 Rumbles in a row. But T-Hole mustered up just enough strength to throw the Groovy One out of the ring, winning the Posse Rumble and securing a match with Delanye West. Not only that, but he would go on to disparage former champion and his former tag partner Tempest, saying that once his business was done with Delanye, T-Hole would turn his attention towards ending Tempest once and for all. It cannot be stated just how much shifted during this Posse Slam in terms of championships, rivalries, and relationships, and how much will change between now and the next Posse Slam. But with the Shady News recaps by your side, you don't have to feel like a lone survivor piecing together the lore. This has been Shady News, where the truth is often shady.